For decades, foreign software companies faced a singular, inflexible constraint when trying to operate directly in China. Before they could localize a product or acquire customers, they needed a specific regulatory qualification. That qualification is the ICP license, or Internet Content Provider License. It is the mandatory legal requirement for any entity providing commercial internet information services, meaning any site or app that charges users inside the country. Historically, Chinese law restricted this license to majority Chinese-owned entities. Foreign equity was legally capped at 50%, and the local partner was required to maintain effective control. This forced foreign tech companies into a binary choice: surrender ultimate control of their operation to a local partner, or abandon direct market entry entirely. In late 2024, the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, the agency responsible for these licenses, initiated a major policy reversal. They removed the foreign equity cap entirely for specific services. For the first time, a wholly foreign-owned enterprise can apply for an ICP license with no requirement for a local shareholder. But there is a specific geographic catch. This is not a nationwide opening, but a targeted pilot program restricted to a handful of designated zones. The new rules apply exclusively to companies registered in Beijing, Shanghai, Hainan, or Shenzhen. Entering the Chinese internet market is no longer an exercise in finding a local partner. It is now a strategic exercise in precise geographic placement. To use this pathway, your company's registered legal address must fall strictly within the borders of one of the pilot zones. The lines are absolute. If you register your company here in Shanghai's Linggongnu area, you qualify for 100% ownership. Registered just across the boundary in Suzhou, and the 50% cap remains. This rule applies specifically to your legal registration. While your physical operations can exist elsewhere, the legal shell must pass the street address test to qualify for the license. The policy also restricts the type of business you can conduct. The opening is designed primarily for B2B SaaS, e-commerce platforms, and digital management tools. Several sectors remain under the original restrictions. If your platform involves internet news, online publishing, education, or healthcare information, you cannot utilize this pilot program. To operate independently, you have to satisfy two requirements simultaneously: a permitted business category and an exact geographic coordinate. Beyond the location, there are financial and operational prerequisites. The registering entity must have a registered capital of at least 1 million RMB. You also need a genuine local workforce. The company must directly employ at least 3 local staff with verifiable Social Security contributions paid through the company's own account. All servers must be physically hosted within mainland China, and the company's legal representative must be a Chinese citizen with no record of industry violations. The application follows a set timeline. You submit a project proposal to the MIIT, then obtain an approval certificate from the Commerce Department. Next, complete local business registration and submit the final ICP application. The entire process takes between 4 and 6 months. The state has removed the requirement for a local equity partner, but replaced it with a demand for localized infrastructure and strictly documented compliance. For pure B2B SaaS companies, this means they can now enter the market directly without sacrificing equity or governance control. It also provides an opportunity for foreign companies currently operating through joint ventures to restructure. By registering in a pilot zone, they can move their operations to a wholly owned subsidiary. However, direct ownership means direct liability for data security. Under China's localization laws, all user and transaction data must remain in country unless it passes a separate, rigorous security assessment. This framework is already functional. In tech hubs like Shenzhen, foreign-owned ICP licenses are currently being issued to companies that meet the new requirements. These specific geographic and categorical parameters define the limit of independent internet operations in the country. Mandatory joint ventures for software operations are no longer the only path. Direct participation is possible, provided the company registration matches the correct postcode.